ready for takeoff.
We are cleared for takeoff.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Time to take flight in your community and in your life. This is Audio Airstrike.
This is 3 of 10.
3 of 10.
3 of 10
has arrived.
Checking for 3 of 10.
All right, now here's what we're not going to do. What we're not going to have happen is we're not going to be sitting over there using home on the 200th episode of Audio Airstrike. That's what we're not going to do. If you want to get canceled, go ahead and get canceled with your all black on, like you actually going to a protest, but you're just going to cancel yourself out. Keep it up.
No,
if anybody's getting canceled, it's you. It's not going to be me in this platform. You ain't been a co-host in 3 years. You are not associated with this over here no more. Oh, no. You're a reoccurring guest. You're a friend of me. You're a brother. But damn it, if your ass get canceled, it's on you. Don't come over here and say nothing about it. I don't want to hear nothing.
Oh, man.
I don't want to hear not a doggone thing.
I was just trying to check for the 3rd of 10th.
No, you ain't checking for nothing. You gonna check for the 3rd?
You got 7 more coming, bro.
He keep this coming. He gonna check for the 3rd and 10th homeless shelter. They keep take everything I got. I'm telling you.
Oh man.
Oh God, this is so stupid.
It's a good thing I don't have public figure in my IG bio. God forbid.
That was such a black mother response.
What's this thing going on, man? What the heck is wrong with this guy?
Oh my God.
Wait, I can't see.
Oh, this is freaking mine, man. What the heck is wrong with him?
Oh,
we got
God.
5 topics to do. This is going to be a nice, fun episode. You
spread
come
them right
there
out.
just looking to get canceled. Can't go to LA. Can't go to Baltimore. Can't go nowhere. Keep it up. Go ahead. Keep it up.
Got 7 more coming your way.
And every one of the last one is going to be bleeped. Bleeped like your career. It's going to be a bleep.
Man, it's fine. Just leave it.
I'm not leaving it.
Okay, hold on. Whew. That's fucking funny as hell every time.
Goodness gracious. Right out the gate. So basically, this is the 200th episode of Audio Airstrike. I'm Everett Hall-McNeill. Thank you for joining us. And with me, I have 2 guests that you guys are very familiar with. In the past, they have been co-hosts of mine, and I recurrently bring them back for special moments like this. To my right, which is your left, hopefully he don't get canceled by the time this episode is over, I have Lou Gold. And then to my left, which is probably your right, he is the founder of the Everyday Weekend and also a host of the Baseline Podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, with me at this time, Coppo is with us, back with us once again.
Yo.
So, here we are, 200 episodes.
Yes, sir.
200. Congratulations,
Yeah,
sir.
congrats. First and
And I
foremost.
appreciate
You the
I
man.
appreciate that. I
You
appreciate
are
that.
the man. 200.
And I do want to reiterate and say this, that I appreciate you guys contributing what you guys have contributed
Absolutely.
to the plethora of episodes you guys have been a part of. So I definitely appreciate that.
You know, no problem. I'd like to contribute one more thing.
You ain't get the
begin.
only thing you go contribute is a hot take, no type of slurs or nothing. I will bleep you smooth the hell out. Don't play with me. Figure it out. You better say what you gotta say. I'm not in the mood for this. You better say what you gotta say.
I love
He
it.
said you better figure it out.
I love it.
I just wanted to contribute the 4th of. That's all I wanted to do.
No.
Number 4.
He keeps on talking. He keeps on talking. I'll cut this mic. I'll go like the 27-year-old me. He's trying to bring me a 27-year-old me.
Number 4 and 4 of 10.
Paging number 4.
Oh man!
You get canceled. That's on you.
Only
Don't come over.
6 more left. That's it.
There's going to be nothing.
Okay,
nothing. Not a zilch. With that being said, we're going to move on. We're going to talk about Russia invades Ukraine. I'm watching your ass. Don't say nothing crazy.
He said, I'm watching your ass.
That might have been a good introduction into the 5th, but we'll leave that one alone.
Russia invades Ukraine. The battle has begun for control of Ukraine's capital, Kiev, with an apartment building hit by a missile or rocket early Saturday. Fighting has reportedly split into the streets. Explosions and gunfire were heard overnight as Russian troops advanced on the city. The Ukrainian president refused the U.S.'s offer to evacuate from Kiev, saying, "I need ammunition, not a ride." More than 100... Putting pause there is crazy.
No, I said bars.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say, oh, okay.
Not pause.
Okay. More than 120,000 people have fled Ukraine since Russia's assault began Thursday. A UN official says on CNN Saturday there are queues at the number of border crossings. So my first question is this. Well, not really my first question. My first take is this. Okay, it's kind of obvious as to why they are invading. Anytime there's invasions like this, 9 times out of 10, the person being invaded has plenty of resources that haven't been touched yet. Am I correct about that?
So from what I gathered, is it is a power struggle to take control of East Ukraine, specifically one of the ports that are there. Putin wants to control some of the resources coming in and force China's hand, and it was China and Korea, maybe. Just trying to force. It's a power play. He's trying to. It's Putin, a display of power, right?
It's deeper than that too, though. Like, so, the like before when it was the Soviet Union, Kiev was like the powerhouse of what is now.
He has
Russia.
these dreams of doing a new USSR.
Well, but like Kiev was bigger than Moscow then.
Yep.
And a number of the resources, as far as agriculturally, were coming from there, as well as most of the nuclear weapons were produced and housed there. Correct. So when they split, the deal was made that we're going to give you, Russia, the nukes in exchange for your promised protection of us, and now you're invading us.
And what's funny is, now this is a couple of days in, right? So it's starting to become older news. What's funny is that Putin has these grandiose visions of having a new USSR, right? Only to go into Kiev and be getting his ass whooped.
Also then like the part of why Putin doesn't want it that nobody's talking about is Ukraine has been trying to get into NATO.
Yeah, correct.
And if Ukraine gets into NATO, that would be the only country in NATO that borders Russia.
Yeah.
That literally has a border with Russia.
And that presents
and they don't
a host
want it
of,
that close.
Yeah, that presents a host of issues.
The whole point of NATO is Russia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The most fire thing that I picked out of it is there's this Ukrainian jet pilot, and I don't know if this is true or not, called the Ghost. That is single-handedly smoked like 10 of these fools. Just knocked them the fuck out the air. The resilience of the Ukrainian people has been amazing.
Yeah,
just like everything that they're going through. A lot of the media coverage is skewed as it typically is, especially here in America where, we're now bombing parts of Africa, right? And they want us to pay attention to this. But just the resilience of the Ukrainian people. And social media is just really because I saw this thing floating around on Reddit. There was a lot of threads, as typically happens on Reddit, just, coverage, keeping people informed because it's an international platform where the media, and take this for what it's worth, I don't know if this is true or not, was trying to censor the fact that Poland actually was accepting refugees across the border, while the mainstream media was saying, nah, they're not fucking with you, don't go there.
See, I was watching video of people trying to get into Poland, and it was so much traffic, they just got out and walked. They were like within a couple of miles, they were like left the cars, got out and just walked clean into Poland. So I seen that part of it. Yeah. But you're right. I didn't see any media platform saying anything about that. And
it's kind of a double-edged sword, right? Like, yes, social media is going to report things that just aren't true, or, the memes and shit like this. But this is the beauty of kind of the age that we live in, right? Where this is happening in real time. This is not like Vietnam where we're getting whatever media coverage they give us, or even as recent as Afghanistan and Iraq. You know what I mean?
That's true.
There are people on their fucking cell phones recording this shit and putting it on the internet for the world to see. So I don't know what Putin's play was here. If he bit off more than he could chew and was like, I'm going to drag my nuts, but it's seemingly not working out for him.
Well, it's also very reckless because I look at it like this, right? You waited till now to do this when it just so apropos you wait till Trump gets out of office to pull this move.
Well, you have to think about a political play. If he views Biden as weak and he thinks he can get his shit off, sure, when Trump's recklessly threatening all kinds of displays of force, you might be inclined to be like, it's one of two things. Either he's dead serious about it, or that motherfucker is crazy enough to threaten something to make it seem so minuscule that he might actually do it. And either one of those scenarios is not fucking good on the international platform. You know what I mean? That's just...
But to be fair, we also have to remember that the U.S. is a part of NATO. And basically any actions from NATO members have to be an agreed upon thing if we going against Russia. So even like they can't just go help. They can send like ammunition. They can do things like that. But
Trudeau was doing that for the weeks leading up to
you know what I'm saying?
conflict,
we can't just go do it because of this alliance we're a part of. Because it's like when we go, everybody has to go. And so there has to be like a consensus.
The politics.
Yeah, that's where the politics come in.
So let me ask y'all this. Do y'all think these sanctions are going to do anything?
I mean, they already have. Like the running thing on the internet right now is bananas, because they blocked the importation of bananas. And the running kind of meme, if you will, is all these people are doing bank runs. They're going to the banks, they're taking it out. And it's like, you can't eat money. People are going to the sanctions are going to have a real effect in a real way, because, I can't eat this money. I need to eat bananas. You know what I mean? Like, the sanctions are already doing things, and typically times like this, sanctions typically help. We'll see how it plays out, but I think just back to the point of the resilience of the Ukrainian people, I mean, that right there, period, is going to speak volumes. Like, whatever Russia is talking about, or Putin, I should say, is talking about, I think the resilience of the Ukrainian people, I mean, you got everyday people that are pinning down Russian soldiers. Like, why are you doing this? And I think the biggest thing is the indoctrination of the Russian soldiers that are going there, that legit, they for real think that they're doing something positive and helpful. They're freeing the people of, that's the most fucked up part in all of this. Yes, people losing their lives is fucked. Yes, this whole thing is fucked. Sanctions are fucked, all this. But it's the fact that this single man indoctrinated how many people to believe that what they're doing is the right thing to do. It's similar to, the far right here in America. These people are indoctrinated to think certain things that sometimes just aren't fucking true.
Far left, too.
Same.
Far left, too. I can't... I'll say this. I can't stand you far left and far right people. Y'all get on my last nerve. That's a whole nother story.
Yeah, it's either the far right's introducing the 5th of 10...
Hey, that wasn't the leeway. That wasn't the alley to just
party of
go
five
off the handles like that.
Table for party five.
I swear to God, don't make more work for me in post production. I'm telling you right now. Don't do that for me.
Table for a party of five.
Don't do that for me. That's crazy.
Or the far left being so quote unquote woke that they just seemingly ignore blatant facts, and everything is, well, my truth is, and this, like, motherfucker, that's not how the truth works. That's not how facts work.
So like, well, it's mine.
Yeah, no, that's not the way it works. That's your opinion.
It's a cop-out is what it is. You just
a lot of the times it is a cop-out. Yeah, I'm
your truth, my truth. Get the crap out of
more and more now, when somebody says that, it's to excuse their shitty behavior. It's like, literally, I'm just going to say whatever. It is the new no disrespect.
Can I identify as a toddler on my taxes?
Dude,
No.
I'm going to start identifying as an attack helicopter. I mean, you can do whatever the fuck you want now. Why can't I? I'm sure there's some kind of tax break that comes with being an attack helicopter.
I feel like if I'm a toddler, I don't have to pay taxes.
I'm pretty sure toddlers don't pay taxes.
but then
You might even be able to take advantage of some child labor laws.
Yep.
Yeah, but then they'll sit over there and be like, no. It's not going to happen.
No,
why can't I identify as a
exactly.
toddler?
See, and we had this conversation years ago. The slippery slope that this shit leads into.
Yep.
First, it's, I want to identify as a woman. Fine. Next
How
thing
did
you
we get
know,
here?
men that are biological men are now competing in fucking women's
How
sports.
do we get here? We're so far off top. How do we get here?
I don't.
All right.
We just started. I think I started with I can't stand you far right or far left. People.
Yeah.
That's where it started. Yeah. That's where it started from, and I'm still stand on that. Anyway,
I mean, it's offending.
yeah. Should the U.S. stay out of this or intervene based on what you're saying?
They have to.
Yeah,
You
I
don't really
mean,
have a choice at this point, right?
Yeah, and I mean, like most conflicts that we've come across, we probably should stay the fuck out of it. I mean, this is my thing, right? As I get older and more conservative, I think more about the people that are here, and I'm by far no stretch of the imagination a patriot. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of other countries I'd rather live in than this one. However, when you're spending a defense budget that could eradicate student debt, eradicate homelessness, etc., 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 right? It's more of a reason to me to stay the fuck out of it and mind our own goddamn business. Because there's problems here at home, and I've said this for years on this podcast. There's problems here at home that we just don't address, we don't give a fuck about. Lo and behold, if I have €500,000 and I go to fucking Portugal, I get citizenship immediately. I get free healthcare. I get the travel benefits of Europe in their train stations and their trains. You know what? Why is it that America still struggles with such what seemingly to me as I become older are very basic things? It just at this point seems we're just defying all logic and all possible things. And it's like we just want to remain the big dick of the world, which is tight because who doesn't want a big dick, right? That's awesome. Cool. However, there's other things that we could be worrying about. We should stay the fuck out of any conflict that doesn't immediately pertain to us. And look, we're not in those war rooms. We're not privy to a lot of things. You know, me working in the field that I work in, I hear a lot of things that I wasn't privy to, that I'm now getting light on. So who knows? Maybe there's a bigger reason why we don't do these things than we sit around and go kill people. Who knows?
Well, we didn't kill anybody yet, so.
No, I'm saying the bigger picture of it. Typically, when we get involved in conflict, we're murdering motherfuckers. So
for sure.
Yeah.
You? What do you think?
Our hands are tied right now. Like we can't go in there because of NATO.
Oh yeah.
So
true.
it's kind of just like we'll wait.
Yeah. So my thoughts is
sorry, not to cut you off.
Okay.
Because I have a bit of inside information, as much as the perception is that we're staying out of it, understand that we are very much involved in it.
I mean, you know what I mean. We're not just about to go bombs over Baghdad.
Right.
But we're sitting right there, 100 miles out, waiting. I mean, we've already had a couple.
I wouldn't be surprised.
A couple subs chased away prior to the conflict, shit like that. It's like always, we're somehow figuring out a way to put our hands in the cookie jar.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not surprised by that.
What's going and respectfully, what's going on in Ukraine and Russia and all that? How about we start addressing the housing crisis that is looming over everyone's head right now in this country? We're 2 fucking seconds away from another 08 bubble crisis where they're just going to bail the fucking banks out again. So while I have the bleeding heart for the people that are over there, what about the homeless epidemic that's about to hit regular Americans in a matter of months, maybe? What then? That's why we should just stay out of shit like that. It makes no sense.
Here's how I look at it, right? When you are making certain relationships with other countries and there's the bargaining system and there's crypto attached to it, cash attached to it, benefits over resources attached to it, it's hard to just say we're going to stay out of it when you see at a higher tax bracket that maybe we're not privy to all of these different benefits that can benefit the country. Now, however, if you're not careful and you make a deal and it's a bad deal, depending on who's in office, depending on who the president is, depending on who's in Congress and whatnot, the other country could have you by the neck in a certain deal.
Because you brought up crypto, I would argue now more than ever, there should be an awakening period for people who are not somewhat invested in crypto. The reason the bank runs are happening right now in Ukraine is because Russia banned SWIFT payments. That links back to crypto directly. This is the number one reason why people should be invested in some sort or fashion of whatever your favorite token or coin may be. These are the reasons why. And if anything, if we want to dig deep, if we want to get into that bag, why would America, one of the last countries to have mass adaptation of crypto, be involved with what's going on over there when they're using said technologies? One of the coins that I'm invested in, XRP, is part of the SWIFT network. There's bigger shit at play here, right? Yeah. And on the grand stage of things, me, you, Coppo, Tim, us sitting here, we'll never fucking know. We can just speculate, Mm-hmm. But I think just because you brought it up, it's more of a reason people should be paying attention to what happens on the world stage instead of in their fucking backyard. Like, we need to focus on things that are happening in our backyard, but those things that happen externally from us can affect change here.
Is there any...
Wait, isn't that contradicting what you were just saying about keeping our nose out of shit?
Being informed as a military complex, staying out of it. I'm talking about, regular people being informed of what goes on the world stage. Should we go over there and start fighting? No, I don't think that's the thing. But I think people should take this as a moment of pause to reflect and say, I should probably be less worried about TikTok and whatever dance I can put on the internet for 1.5 million views. And I should be really looking into what's going on the world stage and be more informed.
I'd love to see you do a TikTok.
I will never. I'm not going to hit the...
That'd be gold.
No, I'm not.
He's not going to do that.
No,
That's an old dance, by the way.
No, I was about to introduce the 6-1 there and say that's for them, but I'll let that slide. And I don't mean in the sexual tense. I mean how we used to use the word.
I'm just glad you didn't do it.
Yeah.
That one wouldn't have worked.
It would have worked. For people in our age group, it would have worked.
Well, we want to give our condolences to the people of the Ukraine. Our prayers are with you.
Yes.
We pray that everything works out. And also, I will say this. Those of you who are currently proud of your country, of Russia, and you're proud of where you come from, I really need you to really look into your mind, heart, and spirit about what's really going on and open your brain as to what's really going on. You are hurting people, innocent lives, and it is costing a lot of grief. So I really need
And shout out to
Russian people to reevaluate what they're doing.
And shout out to Russians as a whole, because from my limited experience, those are some resilient motherfuckers. They're tough as nails. They wake up and have a glass of gasoline with a bowl of nails for breakfast. Those are some hard motherfuckers, boy. And I think Ukraine is just really proving that yet again, that they're not to be trifled with.
Yeah.
So shout out to them, and thoughts and prayers, man, because that shit it's crazy what's going on over there.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's a sad, sad thing.
But what is not a sad thing is the Kanye doc that showed the rise of Kanye in the early to mid 2000s. Now, I got a couple of questions, and also I'm gonna give my my takes on this. In what ways did the documentary inspire me was this. We always love an underdog story. We always love certain legends because they weren't supposed to make it. They were not the person picked within the system to be the next guy. If you ask the higher execs, if you ask the music artists, they had their picks on who they wanted. Kanye was not that pick. And when you do that, when you beat the odds and you become what you become, it is always going to be inspiring.
I think regular people need to shut the fuck up about Kanye. The biggest piece that I took from that documentary was how they played him 50 in his own fucking record label's building. They played him like he was nothing, and he overcame that because he knew that. Just the forethought to document all of this, because at one day I'm going to be the biggest artist in the whole fucking world. I am going to be a billionaire. Everything that he said, people like to dismiss things they don't understand as crazy. You know, there's a saying that there is a fine line between genius and crazy. And I think all of us are in some extent crazy. I say it all the time about women, right? They're all crazy. But to what extent? Right? And I'm not saying that as a knock, right? Because you have the type of women, like my wife is crazy, but she's crazy in the way where like, she's about her. She's about me. She's not about to, you know what I mean? Like, she's crazy in that way. Like, I don't play about Lou. You know, so don't come over here saying and doing shit because I go for mine. That's what I mean. I mean it in a very good way. I don't use the word crazy in a detrimental way. Gotcha. And I think people need to stop dismissing the things that Kanye says, because all this documentary is proving is everything I told you motherfuckers I was going to do and I was going to be, I've done. For me, it's the biggest slap in the face to anybody who ever doubted his genius. It's documented for you motherfuckers to see. I used to go in them offices and they played me like I was nothing, and now look at me. I'm the biggest artist in the whole fucking world. I'm bees up. The next biggest artist to him is Drake, and Drake don't got that kind of money that Kanye playing with. He doesn't have the influence that Kanye has. Kanye single-handedly moves what is cool in our culture. And when we talk about our culture, what is the metric? Cool. That is our metric for what sells and what doesn't. How cool is it? We are single-handedly the purveyors of cool, right? And when I say we, I say anyone that is involved in hip-hop and black culture, period, worldwide, that moves the needle. So it's like, leave that man the fuck alone. If he tells you some shit, shut the fuck up and listen to what he's got to say. Sift through the word salad that sometimes he goes out, because people like that are very eccentric, don't know how to gather their thoughts. Coppo does it sometimes. Motherfucker's a genius. Sometimes he just be saying some shit that I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but I trust you. You know what you're talking about better than me, so I'm gonna just shut the fuck up, sit back, let you do what you do. And I think a lot of the times people, because Kanye is such a public figure, his wife is a public figure, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, ex-wife now.
Well, they're not officially divorced, are they?
It's pretty much a wrap to me.
Well,
She's sitting over there and look, and I'm not going to sit over here and drag her name too much.
At this point, you can't.
At this point, okay, I'm just going to say this. At what point do you reassess your situation after having several failed marriages?
Well,
at what point?
It's Hollywood, though, bro. It's Hollywood. How many of these women? How many? It's a very look.
But that's starting to be a cop out, though.
But it's not, though. Okay, think about let's bring it to a local level, right?
Okay.
Let's think about what Coppo does, right?
Okay.
Fair, right? Well-known public figure within the DMV music space, right? Mm-hmm. You're talking about a niche right there. I use so many niche words right there. Music, DMV, right? Already pigeonholed into those two things. Black, talented. Now I've added a couple more things, right? Now think about how small that community is. Because not everyone's black. Not everyone's talented. Not everyone has their own business. Not everyone's a staple in their public, culture. This dude, her and him are at the highest of high levels. That community is so small. She's not about to hop out there and date fucking Lou from fucking Virginia Beach. It's not going to happen. You know what I mean? So it's like with these people, of course, but I'm saying those type of people have ascended to certain heights where the regular people, their community is so small.
So here's how I'm
as much as we may not like Pete Davidson, let's not act like he's not popping, because he is. He's been on SNL forever. He's a weird fucking dude. He's not funny. He's awkward. He's an ugly motherfucker.
He's not of the tier that you're
I would never say that. However, he's still involved in Hollywood. You're talking about
anybody in Hollywood could have got her, but him.
But he's part of
That contradicts your original point.
He's part of the biggest television broadcast in history. He's not Ye, of course, because nobody is Ye. But he's not fucking Lou. He's not Coppo. He's not E. He's not a regular Joe Schmo. The motherfucker's been a writer and performer on one of the biggest American broadcasts in history. So we can say what we will about him. The fact still remains. Now, am I saying that Ye is a better choice?
So you telling me quality wise, Pete Davidson's an A-list celebrity?
No, I would never venture to say
and
that.
That's what I'm saying.
However, they're still involved in the very small community that is Hollywood.
That's a big community.
It's bigger than what you think.
Hey, man.
It's big enough for there to be a very distinct line between Pete Davidson level, Kim Kardashian, and Ye level. They're household names. Pete Davidson
can we boil down why Kim Kardashian is famous and why Ye is famous? So on the tier of just Kim Kardashian, I would never discount what the woman has done, but just on the tier that Kim Kardashian comes from and what she is, it's not so far-fetched in my mind. To be fucking with a Pete Davidson. You got popping because Ray J was popping you on tape. Now, you went on to do very great things and become a mother. And
she's elevated.
Somewhat of a moonlighting as a lawyer and these things. Great. Good for you. However, let's get to brass tacks here. You got popping because you was a hoe. You was Paris Hilton's help. So to be fucking with a Pete Davidson, she might just be taking it back to her roots. She was the help. Let's keep it a bane. She was the help. She was organizing a bitch closet. You the help.
But she was always into black guys.
So she can't have this might be her flavor of the month. MGK used to be a rapper. Now the nigga's the punk rock idol and is popping with another Kardashian.
Who abandoned his fan base too. So
did he though? Did he? Because he's had those fucking. That's a whole different conversation we can get into. Ain't gonna get but he's had the things tattooed on his body for a long time. The suspenders. He's shown those things, and he's much better off for it now. So
Well, the way I look at it is this, right?
I disagree on all of it.
When it comes to
Wait, time out. E. Hold on. Disagree on the MGK point? How?
No, not MGK. I disagree on the whole Pete Davidson being in the same bracket that she should be dating in at this juncture.
So then who else is there?
I don't care to
She's
know.
not going to get Hove. She's not going to get 50. Who else she going to get? She's not going to get Dre. Who else she going to get? She's not going to get Drake. Who she going to get?
Well, she already
Who she gonna
allegedly
get?
had
You
it.
got to reach down maybe a tier or two down to figure out somebody that's going to fuck with you.
Is it going to be somebody we don't know?
And think about what that does for her
was
brand.
dating, she had a billionaire dude.
But we
no
not
one know who that was.
But women, come on, we can bring that to a conversation of women get what they want. And Rihanna being one of the most attractive women, in my opinion, to ever exist and walk the. I mean, she's fucking Nefertiti as far as I'm concerned. We're not talking about. This is Kim K. We're not talking about Ree. That's different.
Kim K is put in that conversation where you're wilding.
Yeah, she is.
I think when we're talking about manufactured things, sure.
Bro,
but
that's not what
Rihanna,
I'm
we
saying.
can't compare Rihanna and Kim. Come
I
on.
didn't say we could compare them. They're in the same ilk of
They're in
women
the same
to
tier
most.
of good-looking women.
I don't think that a billionaire who has his head on straight is fucking with someone as toxic. If you want to use one of the catchy words, so fuck with a Kim K over fucking with a Rihanna, who has done nothing but aim the trajectory of her career all the way to the tippy top. Has never been involved in scandals. Has never been involved in bullshit.
Bro, you.
The only scandal she was fucking involved in was when a nigga put it on her. Past that, she was a fucking sweetheart. So she can attract a billionaire. Think about it. If I'm a billionaire, if I'm B's up, am I fucking with a Kim K or am I fucking with a Rihanna?
Well, you're a billionaire that's
Either.
actually got his head on straight.
That part as well.
Sorta.
That part as well.
If Kim K walked in here, yeah.
Kim doesn't do it for me.
Sure.
No, I'm going to keep it a beat. Courtney always did it for me. Kim is weak.
Bro, that's the option. If Kim walked in here,
She's weak. I'm cool. Nice to meet you. It's a pleasure. But to me, she's weak as fuck. I thought the other two sisters were always better than her. The one, Courtney's the one with Travis Barker, right?
Hey, I've been outside with you.
think
Shut
so.
up. I'm done.
But when we're,
I'm not doing this with
But
you.
when we're talking about Kardashians, if we keep it insular to Kardashians, she is the weakest one.
I've been outside with you.
She's the weakest one. I still maintain my
That
point.
doesn't
She's the
change
weakest
anything.
one.
And she's not the weakest one.
How many Kardashian lookalikes have I ever fucked with?
She's not the weakest one.
Kim is the weakest one. Who's the weakest one?
The big one that keeps getting surgery. The one that was fucking
Chloe.
with
You talking
Lamar.
about Chloe?
She's not even big no more.
I was talking about her stats. She's tall as shit.
Tall bitches aren't attractive?
She's not attractive, nigga. What are you talking
You're
about?
bugging. Chloe's not attractive.
Which Chloe? Because there's been like 5 of them.
Any of them. Except all of them were weak pre-surgery. If we're talking post-op,
But you're down. You're down. You were just downing Kim for surgery. You're full of shit. All right, let's move.
No.
What's the next
I didn't
topic?
down her for
that's-
surgery. I'm not. But if we boil it down to who's weak and who's not, Kim is the weakest. Because all of them was weak pre-surgery. None of them was bad pre-surgery. They was all bad post-surgery. And I think Courtney might be the only one that never got her shit fucked with. That's what makes her the most attractive. Is she's just bad. Period.
Well, whether you think the Kardashians are nice is a whole nother topic, but we got to get back to this Netflix documentary. And now I'm
Fuck
going
Pete Davidson.
I mean, that's how you feel. Yeah.
The dude's not funny. He's not funny.
He's not. He's just really angsty.
Just deadpan.
I do like his fashion sense though. When he did the sneaker shop and he put on the G units, I was like, okay, that's pretty cool.
I ain't going to comment on this, but back to Ye. It didn't surprise me that Rockefeller kind of looked at him as a producer, that they kind of saw him as like, oh, you a rapper? Like,
I think the only people this surprised is the kids that grew up on TikTok. This is a known story with people our age. We know this. It's known that Dame was the one that put him under his arm because Jay and the rest of them was like, what you mean pink polos and double collar polo? No one was fucking with him. Make the beats. You can't rap. Dame was the one that believed. We all know this story.
Yeah. Also, like,
but wasn't Jay like open-minded?
No, Jay was very much You know who Jay was signing? Beans, State Property, Myth Bleak. They won at that time. The street era was the biggest era. The baggy clothes, the Timbs, the jerseys. That was the biggest shit rocking. Was you had to be a street dude to get popping, and that's why Jay was such an enigma, because he was a street dude who had crossed over into mainstream popularity. He stood out, and then came your 50s and these kind of people, right? They weren't fucking with this whole preppy shit that is the norm now, where dudes are wearing girls' clothes, which is a very punk rock thing, but now is in hip hop. You know what I mean? Where the dudes' clothes are so fucking tight you can see their dicks. Like, this wasn't a thing. So for Kanye to wear a backpack and double, they weren't fucking with him, bro. They weren't fucking with him.
Also, he had been making beats for the whole fucking industry at this point.
1000%.
Everybody.
So I liked it. The best part that I liked out of that little snippet, when you could tell they used to play Kanye, is when Kanye introduced himself to Pharrell. Mm-hmm. That was amazing. Where he was like, "Oh, I'm Kanye West," and he was like, "Oh, okay." And like Pharrell was kind of like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, but then he gave him he bigged him up and stuff. I think what this is good for, what this documentary is good for, is for all of the kids that are so prevalent on the internet now, that are quick to call him crazy and quick to criticize and critique his behavior, because you don't really know what the fuck you're talking about. The people that grew up idolizing Kanye, we know what's up. When he dropped that album and called it College Dropout, at the time where the thing was, especially in the black community, was to take your ass to college, and he showed I could do something else, that was a big hoopla. Don't forget, it wasn't too long ago that him dropping Jesus Walks as a single was not the thing to do.
Right.
So I think if anything, it's a surprise to people that just, they look at the type of people that read headlines and then don't read the story.
See, while I do think it provides some, like, humanizing of Kanye.
Which it does.
I think it does. But at the same time, that doesn't just excuse some of the wild ass shit he said and done.
Like?
There's been plenty of shit, and the Trump shit was wild.
Why?
The slavery shit was wild. All of these things are wild.
But in context, none of it is wild. The slavery comment in context, because a lot of people took that out of context, he was talking about the overarching mind frame of black people and how they are tied to certain things. He was saying that on College Dropout. This is no different than what he was saying. He just has a bigger stage. The Trump thing wasn't that wild. If he's conservative and that's his politics, who the fuck cares? He's a billionaire. He probably should be a conservative Republican.
Because you just spoke to his impact.
What does that have? The two things can be true, Coppo.
Bro. Him aligning with Trump was being a pawn.
Was it?
Which he later admitted that he felt like he was used by the Republican Party. He later admitted that. That was a public thing he did.
That was, who doesn't get used by these political parties? You're not a politician. Name one person that's been in the White House that wasn't used for something. Jay was used for Barack. Come on, stop it. Knock it off. We can name numerous instances. It's just Jay's not as ostentatious as Kanye.
Those are totally
Jay
different.
couldn't be seen as being a pawn to push the Barack Obama agenda that got him in office.
Look how
he single-handedly swayed the black vote.
Jay-Z did not have any impact on me voting for Barack Obama.
I'm not talking about you, who's you're different. You're informed.
Let me finish. Jay being positioned next to Barack was done with class. It was done with taste. Ye next to Trump was very salacious. It was very nasty.
What was salacious about it? He put a hat on?
He hugging on this nigga, begging for his attention. Like, it was the cooniest shit I've ever seen in my life.
What was Cooney about him trying to garner attention from somebody that he may have looked up to at that point? Then every rapper is fucking salacious. Any rapper who sounds like any other rapper, you can pin into that. And I can name 10 local artists that try to sound like Benny and them right now just to get on. It's just, he might have been inspired by the man. There might have been things that he said. If you really do the research, and I'm Republican, whatever, but if you do the research, Trump did do a lot of good things for black people, but they ignore it. By and large, because he was so crass. I agree. If we're separating things of what is to be accepted and what is to not because of how you present it, then you're 1,000% right.
Bro,
but if we boil it down to brass tacks, what was done and what was not done, fuck what was said. You will never hear me say he was the most presidential president. He was ass at that.
No, I'm saying, do you know, like, before presidency, do you understand the things that Donald Trump has done in the black community?
I 1,000% understand.
Cool. Let's move on.
But you're talking about the overall black community. You're not talking about Kanye West, the fucking billionaire. There's more that Donald Trump can do for Kanye West, the billionaire, than he can do for, Tyrone that lives on the west side of Baltimore. It's not the same. We talking chess and checkers. The shit ain't the same. And not even chess and checkers. We're talking apples and oranges. It is not the same. Kanye has much more to benefit from somebody who is on his side financially, politically, even if he wanted to take it there, than the regular black guy walking the streets of West Baltimore.
Right, and he got Nathan because he was a pawn. You didn't need to be over there in the first place.
I would argue that he didn't get Nathan. He got the press coverage that he wanted. He got the media coverage that he wanted.
Kanye does not need Donald Trump to get press coverage.
I don't think Kanye needs anything to get press coverage. But the bottom line is,
why you don't need to be over there.
But the bottom line is, if that's what he believes in and he wanted to align himself with that, I don't think we should fault a person for that.
I'm good on that. I'm just saying that this documentary doesn't just admonish him from shit like that to me. I've always known Kanye's a genius. I've always thought he was a brilliant artist. Some of the music I like, some of it I don't. But I'm not just gonna take the dude that said Donald Trump doesn't. I mean, not Donald. Was George Washington doesn't care? George Bush. George Bush doesn't care about black people, and then do this coon ass shit. Like, I can't.
But again, to my point, Trump did a lot of positive things for the black community that by and large, the rhetoric is Trump was racist. And it just, while he might be a racist, I can't call that a fact or not. The bottom line is I have to look at what somebody's doing versus what they are saying. For all we know, Trump could have been saying that dumb shit just to get attention to his policies. That motherfucker might be some kind of low-key genius that we play. Because don't forget, it wasn't too long ago that we used to, as a culture, used to idolize this fucking man. It wasn't until he got into office that by and large hip hop and black culture was like, fuck him. And why? Because a couple of far left people took clips and took things that he said out of context and flipped it for their narrative.
And so
a couple of them being Rob Hill Sr. and then the other guy that's light skinned that what's his name?
So the impact of those things, right, on his constituents and then their behaviors, right? There was never any course correcting done by the Trump administration for that.
Why would there need to be if I'm doing things? Fuck what I say. What am I doing?
Because they're doing on your behalf too.
Okay, so then I could agree on that point, yes. But I think when you're in that position of power, to recognize it is almost to align with it. And in that instance, it may be better to ignore it and be like, I don't even see these motherfuckers. Because keep it a being, while they had the most press coverage, they were a very big minority. These stupid motherfuckers acting out what they thought was Trump's will. It was just a reason for racist white people to be overtly racist. They were always that way. I just think because the way he carried certain shit and then they took it out of context.
It was beyond allowed.
I think.
What do you
okay,
mean?
here.
What do you mean?
I think I'm getting what you two are saying. You're saying that the figure of Trump, a white guy being back in office after Obama, made racist Caucasian people wild out. I get where you're coming from.
No, I think the way he carried himself during the election process, some of the things that he said that were kind of tongue-in-cheek and maybe teetered the line, only served to rile up the people that were looking for an excuse to say nigger on TV.
Exactly who he went after for their votes.
But also,
if I'm a politician, am I going to go after the people that are going to cast their fucking ballots, or am I going to go after the crowd that, by and large, because everything that I've said since I've started this administration or since I've started my campaign has been taken out of context and is pitting me against this vote? And let's be clear, the black vote 9 times out of 10 makes the fucking election, just because there's more people that are black than everyone else in this country in this day, right?
That's not true either.
Well, I'm saying that historically, excuse me, I should clarify, historically may not cast the vote, right? And sometimes it can swing the vote, right? When black folks are banding together,
may swing
it
certain
swings
states.
certain states, right?
I can accept that.
So here's what I'm saying.
But that's what I'm saying is that I'm going to play into it. If I know black people like me, by and large, I'm not appealing to the racist white dude in Kentucky, and not to say that Kentucky's racist, but you know what I'm saying. Some backwater country or state, if you will. I'm not trying to appease them the same way we do clothes, right? We have a certain demographic that we are targeting. Why the fuck would I target to somebody? And not that I'm knocking your fashion sense, but for me selling 1600, I'm not looking to sell to who wears a dashiki. You're not who I want to come buy my shit. I'm going to appeal to the people. So if I'm a good politician, then the idea is to appeal to the people that are lifting me up and casting their votes.
Right.
And what he, the
and
point
by
that,
then empowering them.
right. So the point that he was making
I think
was,
they were just a loud minority.
the point that has him kind of at a certain level of, oh, this is not right, is there wasn't somebody saying within the administration saying, hey, can you guys tone it down?
They were
Hey,
letting him get his shit off.
They were pretty much doing this. Hands up, I'm not, my name is Bennett, I'm not in it. This is not my problem.
Well, that
is what he's saying.
But
that and to be fair, you're saying that Trump, okay, you're saying that he put policies in place to help black people. That's what you're saying. Okay, let's accept that, right? I'll accept that premise, but then you can also and have stated that the population that followed Trump was very anti-minority.
Sure.
Okay. And they felt empowered with him in power.
Sure.
Okay. What I am saying is that while you did put policies in place, people in their day-to-day lives had to deal with those people feeling in power. And if you're going to go out here and put policies in place to take care of these people, the black people, then you should speak up and say, hey, I'm not for this. But instead, you turned them people up.
But let's be clear that there were I don't even want to say resurgence, because that is the past tense of it, right? What is the present tense? There was a black constituency that came out in support of Trump and his policies, and you know what they were greeted with? Coon, Uncle Tom. So let's be clear.
Well, that's always
wait. There were people on that side that were saying, Candace Owens being one of them. Listen, stop listening to the bullshit. He has come out overtly and said, "I am not racist. I do not condone. I do not condone this behavior."
So
he has said, but it was taken out of context, and we can't discredit somebody like Candace Owens because that's part of the fucking problem. Whether or not you agree with some of the things that she said, she was basing her statements in fact. She never led on emotion. And what happened was, and this was no more prevalent than at the Revolt conference when T.I. got in his fucking feelings and Killer Mike had to stop that shit, where you and not you, but so-called woke black people are trying to silence a black woman who's giving her opinion based in fact. You're silencing her with emotion. This was part of the problem of that whole debacle, is there are black people that are looking at the facts alone, and the overwhelming majority of other black people are calling you a coon, calling you an Uncle Tom, and all of this. So of course that's not going to get press coverage. And a lot of things that he said were taken out of context. A lot of things that even Candace Williams said were out of context. Show me one piece of coverage that she was in that she didn't state facts.
We can argue about this all day long, but I want to finish
basically facts versus emotion, bro. And too many times, and I loved it when she brought it up, because I recently revisited that clip, is where every time, and she pointed it out as soon as it happened, every time the word racist was brought up, no matter what anybody said in that crowd, even if it was just word salad, they would cheer. However, when she went to go quote facts, now it's this bitch tripping. Why? Because I gave you facts and you don't like the facts? Then that's your fucking problem, and this is part of the problem. We're not dealing in facts.
You're missing what I'm saying. I'm saying that if you're the poster boy for the bullshit, no matter what your policy is doing, right? You're still at
if I'm a politician and I don't come into power, how can I instate these policies? So of course, while the optic of it may seem crazy to lean into these crazy people, if I get into office, I can make real change. Me being on a fucking campaign trail means absolutely fuck all if I don't actually get the seat that allows me to make change. So that's why I say fuck what he was saying, or fuck what black people in general didn't perceive
the impact on the population, which was feeling empowered due to the rhetoric he spewed to get in office. And then once he was in office, while they continued their bullshit, he said nothing. I get the policy
But if they're a minority, right? If they're just a loud minority.
They were running fucking nuts in the streets, Mo. So yeah, policy's changing, but people are having real day-to-day impacts on their lives that they've never had to deal with.
And I think a lot of that stems from, back to what I was saying, is dealing with your emotions and not
Niggas
the
was
facts.
getting lynched.
No.
while
And
Trump was
listen,
in
I would
office.
never condone that. And those motherfuckers deserve the death penalty. Don't get it fucked up. Don't get it twisted.
But that's what I'm saying. You can't
But when
just do
it's-
the policy and then be light.
But you
when
have
that's
to look
happening.
at majority versus minority. Yes, what happened during that administration was there was a lot of press coverage that was solely based on the loud minority. So they got this huge press conference. But then when you would see things like when they went to Virginia and the good old boys were out there with fucking tiki torches, what were they met with? It was 100 of them and thousands of the motherfuckers that was like, we're not going for this shit. So we have to remember that this is all a game and they were playing with it. And that's why I say you have to look at what was done versus what was said. That's the biggest thing, is we can get up in arms all day long. And I was too. I was pissed off at some of the things that were being said.
I was pissed
Having
off at the
all
things that
black
were being
friends,
done
black
based on it.
family, like that shit bothers me.
I was pissed based on the things that his constituents did based on what he said.
I want that. You will get no disagreement from me there. I
right,
just
so
again think
that's it.
it was a
Absolutely.
very loud minority.
All right, so we got to move on, and we got to finish up the Kanye doc.
We gotta unpack it, E.
So I want to touch on one segment that was very, very interesting, but a lot of people, I know our generation kind of knows about it, the Doug Infinite segment.
Yeah.
Which he was there at the event. He was giving him, Doug was in his other compadres giving him kudos. Next thing you know, he's talking crap about him on the radio station. And I'm going to say this. I'm kind of not surprised, considering this is where Kanye is. This is where Doug is right now.
Well, that happened in the moment, and you also have to remember that's rappers being rappers. How many rappers do we know that we helped on their come up and then act like they don't know us anymore? That's just rapper shit. Oh, he's popping, and he felt away. So it's like it happens still to this day, except it's more visible now because motherfuckers got camera phones.
But let me ask you this, right? So I kind of get tired of when somebody does something that's fake, stupid, and wrong, and somebody goes, "That's just some rapper stuff. That's just that person. My truth is my truth." You did something wrong. You acted fake as hell. You lied. You did something shiesty. Own it.
But E.
There is nothing to. That's how I am.
E.
If you do something shiesty to me, I'm never gonna forget that. I'm not gonna chalk that up as rapper stuff.
E,
No, that's a hard.
you're wearing a dashiki. You're cut from a different cloth.
I know I'm cut from a different
Not
cloth.
everyone, especially entertainers, as we've seen time and time again, are cut from that cloth.
But at the same time, if I don't sit up and speak up and say something about it, then I'm just letting the stuff keep on happening. If I'm in the room and I'm like, no, this is my set. We're not doing that.
Correct.
You move this way. Somebody has to stand in the gap and be like, okay, I'm standing up for what's right. I don't give a damn where you live at, where you from, or where.
But you're expecting
you
a
were
lot
raised.
from people that are in the entertainment industry.
If I'm in the room, at some point, somebody has to stand in the gap and change stuff around.
Why do you think we listen to underground rappers? E? We were just talking about this with Larry June because I identify with that.
Right.
I identify with Currency, not doing shiesty shit to get to an end goal. I can get it like this, but I don't want to get it like that.
Right, I get that.
It's just cut from a different but that's, I'm not trying to discount it, but it is rapper shit. That's how these fools move.
And that's how a lot of people don't get put on.
Well, I could argue that's how a lot of people get put on because they're fake as fuck. And
True.
they're on some rapper shit and they're trying to be an entertainer.
True, but they don't last. They'll have a hot couple summers and they're gone.
I would disagree. How many? Here's one for you. Drake. Biggest artist in the world. Where'd he start at? You ever seen Fonte on a fucking record with him since he became the biggest artist in the whole fucking world?
No.
What did Kanye say to Mos Def and them on what was it, on Twitter, on Instagram? I wasn't really no backpacker. I was using this. Come on, man. You're expecting a lot from people. And look, you could, on the other hand, call them the realest motherfuckers on the planet. Why? Because they did what they had to do to get to where they wanted to be. Not saying that I agree with it. Not saying that it's, it goes against my moral compass. Right. However, it could be argued that they did whatever they had to do by any means necessary to get to where they wanted to. And you have to, at some point, applaud that.
And but I've said this, you've heard me, you know me really well. You know I'm going to stand on certain principles and I'm not going to go over.
Do you have to applaud that?
To be solidified in yourself so much so that you're willing to do whatever it takes to get where you want. I have to. At some point, I have to.
I think we got to put some parameters on that.
I can disagree with it, but I can empathize, I guess, and I can see. I can put myself in your shoes for 2 seconds and say, I don't like this, I don't agree with it, but I can see why you did that.
And I can look at the same situation and be like, yo, you done threw a whole bunch of people
I'll never do it. I would never do it.
Success. Well,
but I can see why you would.
Yeah, well,
I'm not 8 billion up. I'm not the person who moves the needle in fashion, even with old fashion houses that have been around for hundreds of years. I didn't marry and knock up the most popular woman to ever exist on
Earth.
Doug
Infinite did not do that, and he pulled a very fake move.
At that time, if you see it, you know what's up, you know what's going to be. And I think this can propel my career. I mean, fuck, look at Game. Game almost propelled his career. It could be argued half of his career was propelled by Dis and G Unit. Right? Like, we've seen this happen. We've seen it work. It works. I'm not saying it's right.
It works,
but it works.
It works.
It's fucked up. It's.
I understand.
What did Tribe say? Rule 580. The music industry is shady.
Look. Forget all that. At some point, somebody has to speak up for what's right. For example, Hollywood. Everybody wants to talk about women's rights, and everybody wants to talk about, we're getting diversity. You spent the last 40 to 50 years abusing women behind the scenes.
Abusing power. Position.
Divisive behavior, putting minorities in certain roles and only those roles.
Sure.
I'm a filmmaker. You think I'm gonna let that happen on my set?
So my only argument to that is when, and maybe this is me speaking ignorantly here, is when I look at movies of yesteryear, right? And this is why I love Tarantino. And I'm not saying his movies are of yesteryear, but if we're talking about older movies, right? Those, a lot of the time, the movies are a reflection of the times. There weren't black people in power the way they are now. So for me, I don't knock it because it's an accurate depiction of the times. That's why I love Tarantino, and I loved all the backlash he got for Django, because at the end of the day, like Jamie Foxx said, he killed all the white people in the movie. They called that man nigger how many times? And he killed every last one of them motherfuckers, made him pay for that shit. But movies are a depiction of the times. Music are a depiction of the times. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a depiction of the time. So yeah, it makes sense now more than ever to have inclusivity, because black people aren't cleaning your fucking house and picking cotton fields. Are you dumb? It'd be stupid to do that. It'd be career suicide, because there are black people in huge powers of position. But black people still had
lives, even though that was their job.
1,000%. Right. I agree. 1,000%. But when we're talking specifically to movies, right? It's a reflection of the time.
I'm just talking about overall.
Even in any time, black people had a life too.
Right.
That wasn't just cooking, cleaning, or whatever their job was.
But it wasn't like it is now, though, at least in mainstream media.
What does that mean?
The way black people are depicted now. Historically, black people have a 400-year disadvantage, right?
Correct.
So when we're reflecting that in the times, I don't expect Clark Gable to be black and riding a horse around.
Bruh, since the camera has existed, we've had a life too.
I'm just on the stance of what he did was disrespectful and wrong. Simple and plain. I don't care about what you had to go with. Don't you think it would have made more sense to support him, to champion him?
Well, if you're asking me, yes, because I'm a purveyor of
because you never know.
If you're asking the wrong people, if you ask, Coppo's whole business model is based upon propping up new people that he finds and champions. He's not one of these other people out here that find this new up-and-coming black rap artist that's nice and goes, his shit is whack. You're asking the wrong people. If you ask us, I'm always championing the person that is struggling, that is trying to do whatever they got to do to come up. So I can see why he would have did that. I can see why he did it. Was it the wrong move? Fuck yeah, you fucking dummy. Because look at Kanye now and look at you. It would have been better being like, you know, if you wanted to go on the radio and say something, or you could have just picked up the fucking phone, being that he called you. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is that way of handling it. Could have just been supportive
instead of sound like a hater. That's all I got to say.
But that, you know, certain people don't lead with love, bro. They just don't.
And they'll pay for it every single time. There's consequences everything.
I think so.
I've sat back over here. No, it's It's absolute facts. I've had people do things wrong to me. They never get as successful as they were when they met me. I've had people do things to me. Something always happened, and I may not be around to even see.
I mean, your boy Alex is a prime example of that.
Oh shit.
I mean, I'm not drudging up old shit, but while we're on the topic, that is a perfect example of that.
So do you guys consider Doug Infinite's lack of, I guess, what we would consider success? Is that karma, or is it blackballing by Kanye?
It could be.
It could be a combination of both.
Here's another one. It could just be pure lack of talent. It could just be you weren't as hot as you thought you were. And Kanye is way hotter than you. And
right,
you
so why
up.
not diss him and see what happens?
There you go. And that's what I'm saying.
So why not? You're gonna. Oh, come on.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. It makes sense. I can put myself in his shoes and look at it. I can see.
I don't like that he's not mentioning me. I'm gonna diss him before I disappear.
And now I have attention on me, and I can use this as an opportunity to get bigger.
It is career suicide, bro.
No, it's
not all the time. Ice Cube was in career suicide. He dissed the largest rap group to ever fucking exist, and he went on to build a very lustrous career.
There was concrete.
Dissed everybody.
I understand.
Dissed everybody.
I understand that.
50 dissed Ja Rule when Ja Rule was
It's
Ja
not even
fucking
a fair.
Rule.
You are comparing goats to Doug Infinite.
At that time in Chicago, Doug was looked at as a goat.
No. Wait a minute. Y'all got the diss going the wrong way. Doug Infinite dissed Ye. Ye was popping. Ye was walking around with a Rockefeller chain. Ye was becoming that dude. And this nigga took Ye on at 14.
So he feels a way.
Ye gets an interview. They take out the part where Ye mentions him. He's pissed. He gets a radio interview. This nigga's blowing up. He's not about to leave me out of history. I'm about to diss him.
And
so why couldn't you make a phone call?
That's true, but don't act like let's take your field, right? Let's say somebody that you took under your tutelage goes on to win a fucking Oscar and never mentions your name once. You can't sit up here and tell me for 2 seconds you might feel a way.
There would be a phone call. I'm not going on record in dissing him.
No, I mean, I wouldn't either.
Why couldn't Ye call him and say, yo, bro, I don't know why, but for whatever reason, I mentioned you, they took it out.
Correct. Which he didn't do. Ye ran straight to the radio station and cleared it up and sneak dissed him. Entertainment, bro. None of it's real. That's why it's called entertainment. If it wasn't entertainment, it would just be real life.
At some point, I'm just saying.
It would just be real life.
People can call me a Boy Scout for saying this. I've been called a Boy Scout on the show plenty of times. There has to be some type of couth. If I had a problem with you, I'm calling you. I'm not going on wax
but you don't rap.
dissing you.
But see, it's easy to say in the positions that it's easy to say in the positions that we're in. If you went on, and I hope this for you, if you went on to do Oscars and win all your awards and be the filmmaker that you want to be, and I said some sly shit about you, in that position, you might diss me. I don't think you ever would because of who you are, but I'm saying there might be a moment. There might be a moment where you put a character in your movie that makes the ostentatious Asian dude look like a complete dickhead. You know what I'm saying?
That would be accurate, though.
Yeah, well, a little bit, yeah. But you know, it's easy to sit up here and criticize somebody for what they did in that moment. I think the larger picture of that is just to put yourself in his shoes for a moment and try to empathize and say, yeah, it wasn't right. I mean, I would have picked up the phone. Like, shit, there's been many a times where people have said things about me and Coppo when we weren't cool, and I picked up the phone and was like, what's up? And we squash it. You know what I mean? Like,
that
you're
man
right.
chose violence because it could have gone good.
Correct. Game did it. 50 did it. A lot of people did it.
He's not those people, and that's the problem. That's the risk you take.
You don't know until you shoot the ball, though.
Yeah, you got to shoot your shot, bro. You don't know what's going on. Hey, it's throwing shit at a wall. I'm going to throw this shit at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah, and for this time, it blew up in his face.
Well, and you know, in the history books have been written. I don't know anybody that can say I have Doug in my fucking iTunes.
Just saying.
So I mean, it didn't work out for him, but you know.
So in a nutshell, what do you guys think overall of this documentary?
I think it's good. I think it's cool that it's from the Cootie's perspective more so than Ye's, because he was just pointing the camera where he thought cool shit was happening, and because it was shot that way, I think it's cool. Like it shows Ye from a different vantage point. It explains some things about Ye. But it doesn't remove blame from me.
Yeah.
Like, you're still a human.
I think the bigger picture of that too is let's not detract from the leap of faith that Cootie took.
Absolutely, yeah.
It is not every day that you will find somebody that will sacrifice their career and their own personal goals and dreams when they see something in somebody else and say, you know what, I'm gonna take this ride with you. Because I've been a victim of that. It was too many times with these local rappers that have gone on to be millionaires where I just was not in a position to put that amount of faith in you, bro. I got real life responsibilities. I got shit I got to do. I can't take this leap of faith with you. Had I taken that leap of faith, we might not be sitting here right now. You know what I mean? So I think it's a testament to him having that vision and aligning with Kanye's vision and saying, you know what, I believe in you. I got you. Let's roll. Let's do it.
Yeah,
that was the biggest piece that I took from the documentary. It's cool to see Ye, but this is all shit that I saw in real time. So to me, it's like cool. You just put a tape out and you're selling an album.
You said, like a lot of the shit they made a video out of. Like, we've seen some of this footage before.
Correct. None of this moves me. I saw it on MySpace, my guy. Shit, I saw it on Zanga and fucking Tumblr. None of this moves me. It's the other things that come with it that are moving me.
Gotcha. So definitely shout out to Kanye and Cootie for putting on a fantastic documentary, and I encourage all you guys to watch.
I'm really looking forward to what episode 2 and 3 hold. Like,
I've already watched 2.
Yeah, I've not seen 2 yet, but I'm really the first one, it reeled me in, bro. That shit was, I mean, oh my God, it was so good. I wasn't expecting that. I thought it was going to be like Kanye Now. I was not, because I didn't look into anything in it. I was just like, I'm going to just watch it and take it for what it is when it comes out. I'm not on Instagram with it. I do the same thing with Marvel movies. Don't spoil this shit for me. Let me just go into it with a clean slate. Right. And I was not expecting that. So that was
absolutely awesome. They definitely was pushing P. Now,
oh God,
the top 5 ways. I don't know why I'm about to kill this fly that keeps on flying around.
I'm Plant Daddy, bro. They're around here.
That's your problem.
Well, I got the fucking thing, but like I think they're getting hit to the purple light. They're like, yeah, that's the death pit over there. I'm not going over there.
So the top 5 ways to not push P. Question
is to not say pushing P. There's your number 1 right there. Just don't say it. Don't because you're using it completely out of context and incorrectly. So just don't do it.
I just really don't like that an Atlanta artist got credit for P in general,
and he's using it the wrong way. And people are hyping it up. You're not using it in the correct way.
So what's the correct way? Educate them.
P is short for pimp. And in certain circles, player. That's what it is to be a P. If you listen to Larry June, your bitch fuck with me because a P a loser. You're using it the wrong way. It's just wrong and it's incorrect. And hey, hats off to the man because he took it and he made it something. The way Migos did that way. I didn't know that was a thing until they made it. But don't, and let me use a trendy phrase here, don't appropriate a culture you're not from. You're not from the Bay. You're not from the pimp culture. You never sold pussy a day in your life as far as we know because you was talking about selling drugs and killing niggas, right? You're not from that. So don't take that and try to make it something else. Because that's not what it is.
And then you're making explanations about it that are totally
all of this shit that they're doing is the exact opposite of what is P.
It's not P at all.
Because anyone who uses who is a P or comes from that culture, you don't see them saying these things. You don't see them saying these things. Real life players and pimps are not using this phrase. It's the kids.
Yeah.
It's that don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
I've only said it like in hilarity on the review show. Like it was the day it happened, and we were just on. Oh, that's not pushing P.
Yeah, now I will say I love that Bass God came out and said pushing peace.
That's not P.
Thank you, Bass God. But yeah, this whole pushing P, like that's not a thing. So we should stop.
And didn't he say it was pushing peace at one point?
Well, I think that's the new thing with Ukraine and all that, which I also don't like.
No, that was happening before Ukraine.
Oh, okay. I don't like the fact that he himself, and maybe this was somebody said that something photoshopped, where like he was like Chief Keef and them was like on the way to Ukraine and pushing peace. Like, don't use that to further your agenda to make money, bro. That's nasty.
They're gonna go to Ukraine.
I don't know if it was photoshopped or not, but there's a picture of Chief Keef sitting on what appears to be a cityscape of either Ukraine or Chicago, talking about on the way to Ukraine. And what are you going to do there?
Does he got a gun plug in Ukraine? We're about to go over there. Rocket
the way these rappers talk, I mean, they got Kalashnikovs and all this. I mean,
that would be sense.
I mean, the way if you let the rappers fucking tell it, that's not pushing P. This needs to go away because the thing I do follow a lot of players and pimps on social media because part of my bloodline were real life players and pimps, and so this is what I don't enjoy about it. Is first of all, this game was always a secretive thing, right? It was always this little thing of ours, right? It was always thank you, Tim. Tim Mitchell from Everyday Weekend Baseline Podcast.
Just
straight, yeah, is our impromptu bartender. But I like somebody like Sharp, right? I really enjoy Sharp. He talks a little much for my liking to what a traditional P is. But if you look at cats like Sharp, you look at cats like Kenny Red, you look at cats like the Bishop Don Juan, you don't see them saying these things because it was always a thing of secrecy. The game exists, but we're not overtly talking about it. Did they have ostentatious displays of wealth and this kind of thing? Yes. But we're not in front of the camera doing this. We're not trying to make a campaign to roll out an album to this. You know what I mean? The day I stopped following Sharp and the things that he says, because he says a lot of really good things, is the day he says push and P. This is not player. This is not pimp. None of you niggas sold pussy in your life. Knock it off. Knock it off. Knock it off. And I mean, I've never sold a piece of pussy in my life. You're not going to hear me say push and P. The fuck are you talking about?
I definitely agree with that.
Don't P push itself?
If ain't nothing else going to sell, pussy going to sell. Okay? Right. It's the oldest industry in this fucking country is pussy.
In the world. And I think
how Kenny Red said on American Pimp, shit, and I know this is gonna bother you. He said shit, Mary Magdalene was out here selling pussy. You know what I'm saying? It's the oldest thing in the world. If it's pussy, it's gonna sell. Thank you, sir. I don't have to push it. I don't gotta push P.
Yeah, so let's move on quickly to the.
He got out of there.
Let's move on to the other topics.
No, don't get out of there so fast. We should deep dive this and we should unpack it.
We have a limited amount of
time.
I
didn't have enough fun with that.
I just want to get you the next.
You have
topic.
all the time in the world. You're in my home. We can take as long as you'd like, sir.
Royce the 5'9" and Joe Budden disapprove of the rise and fall of Slaughterhouse, which is a new project that Crooked I and Joe Ortiz are working on. What are you guys' thoughts on that quickly?
As a lifelong fan of Joe Budden, you already know how I'm rocking. Slaughterhouse is Crooked I, or King Crooked, Royce the 5'9", Joel Ortiz, and Joe Budden. And Royce the 5'9" said exactly what needed to be said. And you know what it made me think of this, Coppo? Remember that conversation we had when I started coming back around more and I was in the stew? And Ra had kind of said it and then it forced you into a position to tell me about 1600. You remember that? Mm-hmm. Coppo came to me as a man and said, look, I know we was doing this thing back in the day. I was kind of just surfing around, realized that you didn't own this no more. I went and bought it up, but I want you a part of this. He didn't try to go back into the house and do renovations without at least consulting me first and giving me the opportunity to tell him, no, I'm not interested. He said, look, I want to do it again. It's something that we slept on. It's something that we didn't do. You don't own it no more, so I'm taking it as you don't care about it like that. I have it now. What's up? You trying to work? And we got right back to fucking work. And I didn't feel no type of way because you came to me as a man and you let me know what's up. I don't like the fact that they're doing this without Joey and without Royce because let's keep it a beam. As nice as Crooked is, and he's nice, Crooked and Joel are not nicer than Royce and Joe.
All right, so I'm going to take it a step further because let's be real. The group was cool. It was very cool. It was very dope. A lot of good music. A lot of very tight
classics.
All right, great. The group is no more, right?
Yes.
Since the group has been no more, Joe Budden has been in the headlines 10 to 12 weeks out of every year since.
He's in the media cycle regularly.
Right? Royce has had 2 to 3 albums in the conversation for album of the year since.
And I think one of the years he was robbed.
Now, these two gentlemen haven't fared the same.
Correct.
And so I can't help but want to say, like, I think they're attaching themselves to the last piece of success they had. And they didn't care to consult them because they felt like them niggas went and built houses of their own. Now, part of that is because you guys never got back to the table to discuss the house you owned.
Correct. Who's got the deed?
Right, but since this wasn't a subject, they had to go find somewhere to live.
But let's also be clear. Who's been the number one purveyor of Slaughterhouse and said it on his podcast that reaches millions of people every single fucking time he drops? And his discontent, his disappointment, everything that came with how Slaughterhouse wasn't the biggest thing that it should have been. So you would think in the minimum, the number one purveyor who has voiced his discontent with this, you would at least be like, hey, Joey. Or, because they're tight, a Mouse. This is what we're thinking about doing. Because you never know. And in my mind, it just doesn't even make sense to not involve Joe at this juncture in his career.
Uh-huh.
Maybe he doesn't rap. Maybe he EPs it. Let's be clear. Joe single-handedly, and let's give that man his flowers, right? Has single-handedly helped break a couple fucking careers for some R&B artists. Lucky Day, Alina Baraz, had a hand in Snow, and they were going to be great without him. But that sleeper section has easily broke a few people's careers because of the millions of people he fucking reaches. So you would think, just from a fiscal standpoint, it might be smart to get Joey involved because then he'll play this on the sleepers.
They weren't thinking that at all. That was a miss. That was a marketing miss.
I don't like it, but then again, like I say, as I get older in age, you have to empathize with people and maybe the way they're looking at things. Like Coppo was saying, maybe they feel a type of way. They didn't feel the need to consult with the two people that helped put this house up. No one knew whose name was on the deed, if we keep with that kind of metaphor.
Well, and let's be clear. I'm not saying it's okay. I'm not on their side.
Yeah.
I think it was a bad move.
Yeah.
But I could see the emotional side of it.
Yeah.
Where why it happened.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be doing this. This is nasty.
It's very, very nasty. And even still using the visuals of the pig and everything, like
it's nasty.
For the layman who's not hip, they might actually think that Slaughterhouse is just Crooked and Joel.
Yeah.
They might think it's just them. And that's disingenuous and unfair to two of the MCs that were a part of the reason why y'all got signed. Because y'all didn't get signed individually to Shady.
Yeah,
they should have like called themselves the Butcher Shop or some shit. Like
something, anything other than Slaughterhouse.
The Slaughterhouse,
right?
But it's not just okay. The Slaughterhouse is one thing, but then the meats end up at the Butcher Shop.
And I would like to try to shoot them some bail and say that, well, maybe we aren't privy to the conversations they had behind closed doors, but the way Royce responded would indicate that there was no conversation. And if there was a conversation, they voiced their like not backing it, and y'all did it anyway.
Yeah,
which makes it extra nasty.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But again, rapper shit. This is why you can get away with rappers from Atlanta talking about pushing P.
Yeah.
And not to say that the pimp game ain't heavy in Atlanta, but you motherfuckers wasn't saying that. That's a Bay Area thing. That's a Texas thing.
And then I guess you got to blame the internet blending cultures. There's no like regional shit no more.
Correct.
So a lot
which
of
is
times,
a gift and a curse.
Yeah, like you end up stumbling upon something and not fully understanding it.
And I really didn't like, and maybe this is childish.
This
is childish, maybe, but I don't like the fact that the DMV doesn't get its props for what is properly the DMV when I moved here, right? Because that meme started circulating again, and a lot of people try to dismiss it like y'all too grown for this and da da da. But it's a part of our culture, so don't dismiss it. But it's the gift and the curse. Back to the point that I was trying to make is that you get these blends of culture, but let's be clear that regional things are very important. Like, as far as I'm concerned, the DMV, that's where, if you have a metro station, DMV. If you don't, you're not DMV. Hampton Roads, Richmond, Virginia Beach, you're Hampton Roads. You're not DMV, right? Baltimore is not the DMV. And I love this city to death, right? It's the same thing with this push and P thing where it's like, and I hate to come back to it, but it irks the fuck out of me, dude. Mm-hmm. Just do your own thing. Atlanta has so much cool shit that y'all have done that you don't really have to leech off of other things. That's what makes Atlanta so fucking cool. That's what makes the Bay Area so fucking cool. That's what makes the DMV so fucking cool. I never would have thought New Balances were the fucking sneaker of choice in hip-hop culture until I got here, and every motherfucker wears them.
And we bang them bitches.
Bang the shit out them joints. Mm-hmm. And it makes a lot of sense because like Coppo always says, it's function meeting fashion. It's brick as shit here and you walk a lot. So it makes sense to have on this fucking parko with these goddamn New Balances. Motherfucker, I gotta walk from here to here.
Our fashion has always been like luxury utilitarian. Like it's always had to have some function.
Yeah.
Like we was wearing Eddie Bauer's. They got a lot of pockets. They warm. It's for the trappers. You know what I'm saying? Like Nike boots. You could be outside in the winter and you still could get it moving if you needed to.
Yeah.
The running shoes with the New Balances. Like that was always a part of our aesthetic, was a little bit of functionality.
Yeah. And that's the part that blows me about the whole thing, is that Atlanta for the past decade has been known for these ostentatious rappers that wear questionable clothing because it's high fashion and underground rap, and the rapper aren't familiar with, as familiar, maybe they think they are, with Chanel and Fendi and the fits and the cuts that, Europeans wear, right? So it's often looked at as weird. But it's like Atlanta has been known for that, so stick with that. There was a joke coming around or that Joe had said about how the Migos had on very nice blouses. You know what I mean? Like, it's funny, but it's true. Y'all are banging the shit out of that. Be that, bro. Don't come over here with that bullshit. So it's kind of like a gift and a curse, because I love that the blend of the overarching hip-hop culture has become a much wider community, but I still see the value and the importance of the regional, because that's what gave hip-hop its flavor.
Right.
Like, not everyone is the New York rapper where rap started. Right? Not everyone is still wearing fucking Kangols and tracksuits like LL was back in the day. It's evolved. It's been, but everything is still so regional. I think that's a very important part of hip hop is the regionality of it. Like, I loved that part. Like, I love rappers with accents. It doesn't have to be like a New York accent, Atlanta accent. Anything. Like, I like a lot of Payroll Giovanni, Larry June, Currency. I like accents. One of my favorite guys is Fendi P, and from the Jets, because he sounds so fucking New Orleans. Like, there's no mistaking where that guy is from. He is through and through New Orleans, and he sounds great.
One last topic we got to do, and we're gonna end this real quick. Jason Lee doubles down on reports that he got that the Queen has passed away. Nothing has been released or come out yet about from the palace, any other place, not even the palace, about the Queen being dead. So I just want kind of your quick thoughts on, when it comes to being a media juggernaut, or it comes to being in a media company, and you are the only one standing out there saying, through reliable sources, I got this, and everybody's coming at you like, where did you get this from? This is not true. What are you talking about? At what point do you seen the Queen? We have not seen. We have not seen nothing from the Queen at all. The last thing we heard. That's it.
I know
she got COVID. That's it.
I know you said you wanted to make this quick, but I think there's a larger point here. Okay. Right? I think there's a larger issue here. Is the responsibility of journalists. Which is why, and I tell Coppo all the time, I never listen to his podcast through my iTunes. I just don't do it. Because for me, it's like seeing my favorite rapper and taking the iTunes thing as gospel, right? Or as this experience. Because at any point in time, I can pull up to the Hurt Locker and I can get a front row fucking seat. You know what I'm saying? Be blunted out of my mind, drunk out of my mind, and see these fools work. But when they work, I feel like, and I would like to think, there's that piece of journalism integrity that is there, journalistic integrity that is there, that they're reporting on, whether it's local music, whether it's how it relates to the larger scene. You're not going in, you're getting bullshit. Yeah, they joke around and they crack jokes, and that shit is hilarious. That's what makes the show fire. But when you're talking about being a journalist, right, I think there's a certain piece of integrity that goes there, and we have to remember who this is that is reporting it. He has a history of being salacious. He has a history of just saying shit. That's why he got popping. It wasn't because he's gay and black, the narrative they would like to paint, you know what I'm saying, that he likes to paint. Well, I'm gay and black, so I was banned from hip-hop and all this. Motherfucker, your brand's called Hollywood Unlocked. You know how many people are gay in Hollywood? Nobody gives a fuck where you put your genitals, bro. That's your decision. Your sexual preference is you and yours alone. No one cares about that, especially in this day and age. But let's not forget how salacious this cocksucker is, bro. That motherfucker is...
Isaiah Rashad is going on.
Which, by the way, does not detract from the fact that nigga's nice. You suck all the dick you want. You keep putting raps out like that, motherfucker. I don't care. You're nice. You keep doing your fucking thing. But I don't even see why this has legs, dude. I don't even see why this has legs. Like, you're talking about Jason fucking Lee. Are you kidding me? This motherfucker was on Love and Hip Hop. The nigga's been messy since we've seen him appear. This is messy. And I get that he's trying to protect his brand by like not backing down, But there has to come a point, even on this podcast, I've had to apologize for certain views and things that I've said because I used to not read the script. I'd read the headline and be like, I'm not reading that shit. Let's just talk about it, right? I've done my own research. Let's just talk about it. And I've had to walk back a couple of things. I don't think there's anything wrong with walking it back. The way he's defending it, where it's like, oh, we've heard nothing from Parliament. Of course you haven't, Jason fucking Lee, because you're Jason fucking Lee. The Brits don't care about your dumbass. What are you talking about? You're Hollywood Unlocked, not International Media Unlocked. They don't care about you.
We ain't seen the Queen.
That is a fact.
A report came out, and that's not true. So a report came out. Well, we haven't seen the Queen, but a report did come out from overseas that said she had her weekly call that she does with another position in power.
And the Queen controls the media.
To an extent, she's a face of the media. But what I'm saying is, okay, let's boil it down to this. Let's say he's right. Let's go with he's right. Who the fuck are you to be breaking this news before the Nationals even know about it? Why is this? Why is this what you deem as part of your news headline? I get why, but Jesus Christ, dude, come on. It's
Public
a little
figure
nasty.
Deaths are news.
It's a little.
She's a huge public figure.
I guess over there, does she really move the needle here,
bro? When the royal family does anything,
it gets broadcasted here.
Not only broadcasted here, it's on for like a week.
Well, okay, fine. I'll take that. Back to journalistic integrity then. Have your fucking sources confirmed. Oh, I have a source who's credible.
No one's proven he's wrong yet. That's what I'm saying.
But he also has a proven track record of being salacious.
Right, but is he wrong?
You know how many media people have a track record of being salacious?
He smoked this.
If he's right, he smoked it.
You get what I'm saying?
Smoked it.
And everybody, I get it. My bad.
And everybody
and
that went against
walk back this too.
And everybody that went against him, including myself, is going to have to pack a fucking lunch because it's going to be a long fucking day. Yeah. I get it.
The royal family's been hiding something.
I don't know,
That's
man.
A huge risk to
I don't know. I just feel like. I guess I'm more pissed off at the fact that so many people, Jason Lee excluded from this or included in this, I just think so many people now just run with things and just say shit. And it's like, why?
You know why.
And it's nasty. It's nasty. The podcasts that I subscribe to...
Fuck the royal family.
Don't do that.
They're nasty.
They are nasty, but I'm just saying the things that I listen to, the media that I consume, Audio Airstrike, in my research and being part of the podcast, has never gone and backed something that wasn't confirmed, that isn't real. Why are we talking about things that could just be, it's just something to put out in the ether? Was it a slow news week for you, my guy? Go talk about Love and Hip Hop.
But if there's already been reports that the royal family is hiding
information. The only report was that she contracted COVID-19.
Right. But there have been reports specifically around the son that married the what's her name? Little cutie.
I don't know because I don't give a fuck about
Meghan Markle.
Meghan Markle.
Yeah.
All kinds of wild information of them being wild racist and all of that is being hidden.
Is that surprising though that a royal family that dates back to however far they date back is racist?
So what I'm saying is if they'll hide something like that, then why wouldn't they hide that they're
Well, because a lot of people are saying...
Let me finish.
Sorry, yeah.
Why wouldn't you hide... If you weren't prepared for your leader to get COVID and die, why wouldn't you hide it for?
Because a lot of people that live there, including news outlets, have said anything that goes on with the royal family is reported at 9 and 12 the very next day that it happens.
That's regardless
what they tell
you
what
they're
it
doing.
is. Regardless of what it is. It comes out in the next news cycle because those people are so invested in that. That is their Kim Kardashian. That is their president. That is,
and all of the information we get on the Kardashian is spoon fed to us. All of
You're
the
not wrong.
information
Yeah,
that
right.
we get about
You're
the
right.
president is spoon fed to us.
I guess my biggest beef
And
is
usually the person that says something first gets called crazy.
Very
That's how it
true.
goes.
I guess I just don't. I don't like it. I guess that's the bottom. I don't like it.
I don't like reporting.
I don't like it.
Deaths in specifically.
Yeah, I don't like it.
It's a weird space.
I don't like it.
But it is a part of the job description.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. True.
We'll see.
And
We'll
if you got the you know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
more props to him. If this happens and he was the first one to break it, it's gonna do fucking numbers for his career. But I just, like the conversation we were having earlier, I just cut from a different cloth, bro. I don't like it. I don't like it.
I definitely understand that. So yeah, I definitely agree with you. We're gonna see if he's the first and right. This is another notch on his belt in terms of the stories and news he has broken.
Okay, so I'll give you, just for shits and giggles, right? I'll give you a perfect example. There was a leak of Kendrick Lamar's like B-sides from the first album. It was like, the first album was Good Kid, Mad City. This was like Mad City.
Whatever,
sure. Right?
Mm-hmm.
It was like, what was it, 9, 12 tracks, something like that, Tim? It was up and then it was gone, right? For all intents and purposes, if you go look for this, it's very hard to find. I own the files. They are up on my SoundCloud, right? No, they're hosted on my old site, so they're not up right now. But that's one of those things where you take a risk, right? And like, I can put it back up and people are going to say, yo, how did you get to it exists. And they won't say it doesn't exist until they find it. And then they'll be like, take it down, and I'll have to. But you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing.
Yeah. So with that being said, this has been another edition of Audio Airstrike. I want to thank you guys for coming on.
Absolutely,
I appreciate
sir.
you guys.
Yes, sir.
For this
Thank
special
you, brother. I
200th
appreciate
episode.
you even thinking about us.
What?
Those are some hands.
You see me with
Yo,
these hands
that's
for
why
years.
I said when E pulled up with his porn film kit,
Oh, you get the hell out of here.
He's selling pussy.
This has been another edition of
He
Audio
is a
Airstrike.
gorilla pimp.
You guys take care.
We'll
Have
have
a
to
good
follow.
one.